So after a short break from making videos, I am feeling much more refreshed and much more in control of the content I plan to make over the next few months. So we're back here in Daily Race B at Fuji International Speedway, which those who've been watching this channel for a long time will know that it's a bogey track for me. So let's see how I get on in the first video back since the break. Hey guys, and welcome along to another video. If this is your first time here and you like watching all sorts of sim racing related stuff, subscribe now and click the bell icon so you get notified of every video I upload and you don't miss a thing. Well, that sounded quite nice to say actually. Welcome back everyone. Here we are for the newest video that we've done since the break. So we are here, we're going to cover 3 races here at Fuji in Daily Race B, and as I mentioned in the intro, this is very much a bogey track for me. So I'm on the Arias account. We've qualified in 10th for this one. We're going to go defensive into the first corner just to try and avoid any dive bombing, sort of misbraking mishaps, because it's the last thing you want around here, and also in such a short race it's very difficult to recover. So as I say, started in 10th, went defensive into that first corner to protect from dive bombs, which compromised my exit slightly, so I'm going to fall behind here to the group up in front, but it won't be long till we catch back up with them. So they're battling, so we've caught straight back up with them. We've got 2 seconds to the guy behind, so we don't really have to worry about him at this point. We're going to sit in this guy's slipstream here, and hopefully this Lambo that we're in group 4 and I've chosen the Lambo, is going to give us enough grunt down the straight to make a move into turn number 1, which to be honest is pretty much where I plan to make all my moves in this one. So we're in the Lambo here, we're up the inside of this Audi. There was a little bit of a bump there, but nothing crazy. He takes a slightly unorthodox line into that final corner, which is going to give us a decent run on him all the way down into turn number 1. So coming down this front straightaway here, we've all got slipstream. So normally you'd expect for me to catch up with this guy, but he's in the slipstream of the car in front as well. But now we're just going to get the slipstream here. We're going to go up the inside, we're going to pick our braking point. Very important to brake a little bit earlier, because we're obviously going faster in the slipstream, but we're going to make the move stick here. We're up into 9th now, and we're going to look to make a move on that Peugeot RCZ next. We're going to stay on board here as we come through turn number 3, which is known as the Coca-Cola corner, into the 100R. I don't know what it is about Japanese sort of track names, they literally name them what they are. So that's a 100-degree right-hander, so they're going to call it 100R. Very much the same as Suzuka, because you've got the 130R as well, that is famously one of the best corners in my opinion in the world, and they've got the same sort of thing here. So we're on the shorter circuit for this one, not on the full international. Well, it is the full international, but you don't have to do the little chicane. The Dunlop corner isn't part of it, so it's classified as short. We're going to run wide here, and we're going to pick up as we scrub all the way out to the outside of turn 15. Next corner, a 0.8 second penalty. So as I say that, the Audi's going to try and chuck it up the inside and get a further SR down, which is unfortunately going to knock us out of the slipstream of the car in front. Obviously this is a daily race, so I can get rid of this as and when I please, unlike the championship ones where they have a gate and it slams on the brake for you. But we're going to start lap number 3 here. I'm going to go defensive, take that defensive inside line so the Audi can't go up the inside of us here. She's going to compromise us slightly on the exit. He's going to try and flick it back up underneath. He's not managing to do it. We cut him off slightly there, but that's fine, to be honest. I personally don't think it was enough for us to worry about that. So we're going to hold on for 9th for now, and we're going to have to try again as we're back coming through 100R to try and get after the Frenchman in the Peugeot. We're going to jump slightly further forward here, and we're going to start the final lap of this 4-lap race. Now, as you can see up ahead, there's a huge gaggle of cars up ahead. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's all sorts of onion bargee going on down into turn number 1. We get a bit wide coming out of turn number 1, so we get onto that AstroTurf, which is not what you want at all. So the car wanted to kick out there. If you're in a rear wheel drive car, you can really get into problems there. Because this one's got 4-wheel drive, we were okay. So we're coming back through 130R again. I don't know how many times I've said that corner's name. And you can really see here that the guys up in front are losing a lot of time through their squabbling. So I'm pushing hard to try and catch them. I'm on the back of the Frenchman in the Pug, and he's going to have to get rid of that 1.3 second penalty at some point. Coming down to this little kink where normally you would go back on yourself here, we actually make contact with the Frenchman up in front, which is not ideal at all. We get another down marker as we come into this final tight twisty part for the final turn. I see an opportunity, so drive straight up the inside of the Peugeot there. So we're now up to 8th, and there is a pink, yes, pink Megane up in front. I think, is that Charlie Roscoe's livery on there? I think it is. Got Charlie Roscoe's livery there. So I'm going to try and sit in the slipstream here of the, I think that's a Mustang up in front, but you can just see the power of that Renault there, and we're just going to try and get rid of the penalty at the very last point, which we do, and we come home in 6th place. Surprisingly, I actually enjoyed that one, so I'm going to jump to race number 2 and have another. So we went and did some quali. We improved slightly, so we're going to start 11th in this lobby as we come down into turn number 1 for the first time. Normally a recipe for chaos here, and Alonso, the Spaniard there, is going to go, or he's going to try, is he going to make it? He's going to go round the outside there into turn number 1, but he gets onto that Astro, but then he's also going to come up the inside into this quick left-hander. Thankfully, he pulls out of it as we come towards 100R, so we maintain our 11th place. That's actually potentially a good move for him, or anyone to be honest. Go down the outside into turn number 1, which will give you the inside for after the kink of turn number 2, turn number 3. So we immediately catch up to the big gaggle of cars up in front. We're alongside a Boca member. I'm surprised he hasn't ran me straight off, to be honest, but we have to tuck inside as he is in a Megane. But we're going to get a run here up the inside. He's going to go very, very deep there. He's going to go, I'm trying not to cause any contact with him, which we managed to avoid. Something that's quite difficult to do with Boca members, to be honest. We're going to give Fat Pickles Bro Charlie Roscoe's mate a bit of a tap there in the pink Megane, and we're going to be alongside coming down the back straight. Now look at the speed of these Meganes. I'm just trying to hang on at this point. We've got someone alongside. We've got Alonso back alongside here, so I have to be careful of him in the radar. Thankfully, Fat Pickles Bro does not follow everybody else to the right, so we managed to hold onto his slipstream, which allows us to pull away from Alonso, and we're going to come down into turn number 1 here. Oh, and I'll tell you what, that was sort of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other there as chaos ensues. He manages to get the place back. I felt I made the apex, but I would have appeared quite late for him. So I think that one was a bit of a racing incident. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of that one, as we find ourselves here on the outside getting squeezed out. But it gives us the inside here, and we are now up to 9th. So we're going to make our way down out of the hairpin here through turns 7, 8 and 9, which is called 300R, don't know why that is, down into the Dunlop corner here, or what would be the Dunlop corner. Now this is, as I mentioned before, the really quite tricky part of the circuit here, something that I struggle with, and for some reason Bocca is just going to brake a little bit early. So we're going to dive up the inside there into 8th, and then he's going to get us back here. Actually, my apologies, that wasn't Bocca at all. That was Wundergens, who is picking up penalties for fun here. He's got 7 seconds of penalties already. So in true daily race style, we're getting bundled about a little bit, but that guy's race is technically over. So apologies for that, it's not actually Bocca at all. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like to slam a Bocca member when it's warranted, but in that instance, it wasn't. So apologies for that one, Bocca. So we're going to come down into the first corner here again. The stick's going to fly down the outside, and as Bocca flies gets rid of his penalty there, it looks like the stick is still up the inside, and I'm going to have to yield the position coming into the Coca-Cola corner. So we gained a place, but then we've lost a place, so we remain in 9th here. We're going to try and stay with him. It's nice to see a Nissan, to be honest, in the field. You don't often see that. We're going to come down here into the hairpin. There's a little bit of contact up in front. I think Wundergens again has lobbed it up the inside there. It's sort of a bit of a tradition, it would seem, with that guy. But he's going to have his hands full as the McGann is going to try it up the inside himself. He thinks better of it as we come into the tight technical section here. We've got Alonso all over us as well. You can see him there in the radar map below. There's going to be a bit of contact here between myself and the stick, but to be honest I think it helps him more than anything. Gives him a bit of a boost going down up into the final corner. He's going to lob out the inside. There's going to be a contact between him and TC Test, and now it's going to be a big old drag race all the way down this mammoth front straight here at Fuji. So as you can see, we're all jostling for position here. We've kind of got squeezed out a little bit, but thankfully TC Test has come back out, so we've got a bit of slipstream here. It's going to be pretty tasty coming down into this first corner, I think. Pick our braking zone, let everybody else make the mistakes. Alonso is getting it all squirrely down into that first corner, so we're down the outside of him at this point. So it's going to be interesting to see if we're going to have to yield here. Yep, we're going to have to yield into the Coca-Cola corner. 2 certainly does not go into that one at all. And to be honest, it's been quite good racing so far. I've quite enjoyed it. I dread to think what my SR is, to be honest with you, as Alonso hits the stick and then I hit the pair of them. Oh, there's the SR down again. Not fantastic, but I don't think there was much we could do with that one. So I'm going to sit in Alonso's slipstream here. He's going to go defensive. So no problem at all. I'm going to try and cut back underneath him here, but we're not going to have the opportunity. He's going to go a little bit defensive again, but we're just going to cut it a little bit too much, and we're going to get a devastating 2-second penalty. I mean, it doesn't seem like much, but to be honest, well, it's not what we needed at all. As the guys up in front begin to spread out, we're going to have to start turning our attention here to how we're going to get rid of this penalty. So I'm just going to sit behind Alonso at this point. I'm going to have a look behind. It's going to be difficult to try and keep the fellow Brit behind here. I'm going to move off the racing line, something I didn't do in the live stream that I did last week, and we're going to come across the line. I don't do enough, and we're going to get 11th place. But I enjoyed that, so we're going to do one more. On to race number 3. So here we are then, the start of the final of these 3 races in this video. I've managed to qualify in 6th, which I was reasonably happy with, to be honest. I never really do too well in the daily races, and an example of this is I just have an absolute brain fart and don't go defensive, which allows the Italian in the TT just to take the place. What an absolute nightmare. So we're now down to 7th here. and then it's going to happen again. I'm going to get, well, a little bit of door-to-door action there with the South African, but then I'm going to be down to 8th. I also get a cheeky little SR down for my troubles as well. Not good at all. And then I'm going to go almost down another position. Well, thanks to the contact, I do go down another position to 9th. So I've gone from 6th down to 9th. So I'm going to have to make a move reasonably quickly here. So I'm going to go straight back up the inside of the Dutchman and take that 8th place back. I couldn't afford to wait with that one. And then we're going to enter this final technical section. Look how many cars there are up there. I think that's the entire pack. The entire lead there. The 5 cars battling for the lead. As someone has a spin, I'm going to go wide here. I think I just about get away with not getting a penalty somehow. But we're up to 7th here. We're probably just a little bit outside. Well, yeah, we're definitely outside of the slipstream here, so we're going to have to be very, very careful how we defend. So I'm looking pretty much exclusively at the radar map now, and I move all the way to the inside here to force them to the outside, and then I just start thinking about my braking position. So I'm going to pick my braking point here. I've got the inside down into turn number 1. I'm going to force them to the outside. Got it right, and we managed to hold on to the position. Oh, you can see him there on the map. He's right behind us again. I don't think he's going to have enough, and he sensibly doesn't lob it up the inside into the Coca-Cola corner. So we're now only net 1 position down from where we started, and we're going to continue to push on to try and get after that leading pack. As you can see, they are absolutely bunched together. So it shouldn't take too long for us to walk up to the back of them and try and get in and amongst it. So we're going to jump forward 1 lap here, and as expected, we've walked straight up to the back of this pack. We've caught up with them here coming into the final corner, which is known as the Panasonic corner, as the TT goes well wide there coming down the front straight. So we're going to sit in the slipstream of the Audi as the entire group, as you will see in a moment, begins to snake our way down the front straight. So we're going to stay in his slipstream, and we're going to get a front row seat of the dive bomb by the Italian on the South African. Here he comes, up the inside, bang. Classic, absolutely classic. It was similar, to be honest, thinking about it, to the move that I did in one of the earlier races. So maybe it was just like that. I don't know. We'll have to see. It didn't really cause any harm to them, to be honest, so it wasn't too much of a problem. But the South African here is down to 6th now, as we come into the hairpin, turn number 6. In this car, it's nice and easy to get on the power, as the Spaniard there is getting rid of a whopping great big penalty, not what you need in a daily race. But in things like the Group 3 Aston Martin and Group 4 Aston Martin, it's actually a bit of a pig to get out of that corner. So the work that I've been doing on iRacing and the Mazdas has really helped me improve my car control there. So we're going to come into the final section here, turns 13, 14, 15 and 16 for the final time. We're in 6th, so we're where we started. Let's see if we can pick up any other positions. So we're going to come into the final corner here for the final time, the Panasonic corner, and everybody's just going mega wide. So I sense there's going to be an opportunity here, so I'm going to sit in the slipstream of the South African, who's got the better momentum than the Italian. So we're going to be in the slipstream of the car with better momentum, and it's going to be so close as to whether we pip 6th. And we managed to do it. 5th place for us. Very, very happy with that. What I'm not so happy about, though, is what it's done to my driver rating and my safety rating. So as you can see there, those 3 races cost me over just under 2,000 points, about 1.5. And more importantly, we lost 12 safety rating points, which put us below 90, which really is not good for stuff like FIA, so we're going to have to get that one back up. And for now guys, that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this first video back. If you did, please hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching guys, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.